All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Mr. Worldwide Traveler, or Mr. Worldwide as I like to call him, is back.
I'm back, boys. I'm back. Woo! Yeah, I'm back from the islands. I'm back from the islands of Hawaii, and it was a good time, man. I mean, I was there for a wedding, but you know, I snuck in some pickleball in there.
Naturally.
Yeah, naturally.
I mean, come on.
I think most people, right, just sneak in pickleball wherever, right? Comment down below if you go traveling, are you sneaking in pickleball, you know, after dinner, before breakfast? I feel like it's so easy just to toss your paddles in your bag, and wherever you go, you just try and go and find some games.
100%. Well, yeah. We'll get into, actually, you know what, I'll just say it now because we're talking about this, and Hawaii specifically. So I'll be going to Hawaii in January for like a week or a week and a half. I'm still like, I might change the timeline a little bit or whatever. And in January, I'm going to take the entire month off from work. It's like I will do... Okay, I'm not going to say zero work. There will be some like planning for like, okay, what are we going to ramp up to in February? But the idea is I'm essentially going to do nothing. There will be no paddle reviews. There will be no podcast. There will be zero content on the channel unless it was pre-recorded and it's posted while I'm on vacation. But part of this, what I was thinking about doing was January 1st hits, see how long I can go without playing pickleball to make it a true break. Like there is like, I am fully separated. How many days do you think I could go? How many days before I cave?
How many days you could? I'm going to give you 4 days.
4 days. Whoo! Setting the bar low.
Very low. There's just no way. I
know I wouldn't make it through Hawaii because I did sign up for a tournament that's in Hawaii.
See, there you
go.
go.
But that's like middle to end of January. So it would be like, if I made it all the way to that, I'd be really impressed.
Well, you have your work cut out for you because I already told everybody in Hawaii that you're going to be there sometime in January. So they're all expecting your arrival. You know, shout outs to Kevin, Yoshi, the PB Honeys, Jeff, Bruce, Eddie. Everybody was really nice to me in Hawaii, and I got many of their contacts. So they know you're coming. And,
you weren't on Maui though, were you?
I wasn't on Maui, but
okay.
I mean, they all kind of know. And it's a quick plane ride to and from. Oh, you know who's in Maui?
Who?
K-Dog. Kelson Lau.
Kelson.
You know Big K-Dog. You know K-Dog. Big wave surfer.
Do I?
Yeah. He played against Shea in 5-0. Actually, maybe you weren't there in Atlanta.
Yes. Wait,
yes.
No. I think I know of this, though. I've heard about this.
Yeah, K-Dog. You know, everybody knows K-Dog.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, no, it'll be cool. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know how often pickleball tournaments happen there, so maybe it's one that the other islands would fly over to, but I am excited to compete. Right now, I'm only signed up for singles. I don't know if Sarah and I will do mixed because, like, realistically, the best thing for us to do would be to play 4-0, but I also don't want to play down to 4-0, and I don't know if she wants to play up to 4-5, so I might just play singles because I also don't have a men's doubles partner, so I don't know. Like, and also, it is a vacation, so I'm not trying to play, like, you know, pickleball the entire time I'm there. I'm going to play.
So he
but,
says.
You know,
so he says.
Who knows? Part of this, here's, like, a whole part of this work thing. One, every book I have been reading about business recently is like, take a break. And as you know, Will, I don't take breaks very well. Trust
me, I know. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You are one of the hardest working people I know. not just in pickleball, just in general. You're a machine.
Yeah.
Man.
So taking this time off will hopefully be good for me. But I feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to make it like halfway through the month. And this is actually on purpose. Part of this is on purpose. Mm-hmm. I want to make myself crave it so that I like come in like wanting to go harder. You know what I mean? Because I had the time off.
Gotcha. You want to come in like fiending, like a drug addict, just on relapse.
Day one back to pickleball, and I'm like, back to my first review. I'm just like, we're just gonna review a million paddles.
You're like shivering, like coming back.
Give me a paddle. Somebody give me a paddle to review. But anyways,
Okay.
I do have that trip in January, so it'll be nice to take the break. I am looking forward to it. But on this week's podcast, we're going to talk about some paddles, talk about the PPA and my copyright claim, and then we're also going to recap a little bit of Will's trip, and then we've just got some stats from our gold medal match that Pickleball, right?
Yes, Pickleball.
Yep. Pickleball did for us. And honestly, they're really cool. I'll make sure I put some of those stats on the screen because honestly, from stats I have seen in pickleball, this is the cleanest layout I have seen. The breakdown is awesome. Like, it's just very cool overall. So we're going to talk about some of that.
Yeah, we'll link it in the show notes too, so you guys can kind of click into it and look at it. And we won't go into too much detail about it because I think unless you're looking at it while you're listening to us talk about it, it almost seems a little pointless. But definitely check it out.
That's why they click the link in the show notes, Will, so they can listen to us and look at it.
Well, I mean, if you're listening to this pod on your drive to work or something, don't be looking at these stats while listening to the pod.
Oh, no, I expect them to be looking. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. Okay. Anyways, I want to talk about this again. We already talked about it a little bit after Kansas, but I did finally get all 4 of the Engage Pros, and I got to hit them. You did get all yours too?
Yep. Yeah, they came in as maybe 30 minutes after you called me or FaceTimed me and showed me that you got yours. So yes.
Oh, cool. Did you get to hit them yet?
Yeah, I got to hit one of them. I haven't got to hit like a lot of them because since I've been back, I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little jet lagged, and there's a lot of cleanup and other things that I kind of needed to get done. But I did go out to play and hit with them, and really, it just kind of reaffirmed kind of the initial thoughts that I had about them when we first played with them back in Kansas City. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your thoughts now that you've had a little bit more time with them?
Yeah, no, these I think make up for what the Ultra was. This should have been the Ultra. If this had been released, I think people would have had no qualm. Like, I brought them to a session of play, and my mixed partner, she's already been using it, and she loves it. And she's the type of player where you can give her a paddle, and she's kind of like, I don't know, I don't really feel any difference, but she's playing better since she started using the Engage Pro, and she likes it a lot. And then Patrick, my middle brother, he picked it up. I think he was using the MX 6.0, and he was loving it. Like, he was like, dude, I can generate some insane spin with this thing. He was having a ball with it. I really liked the MX, the 13 millimeter one. Like, the pop off, it's really good. Like, it's just a good paddle. Like, if you liked Engage, this puts Engage at least a little bit back on the map for sure.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's very good. I like that they improved the bottom butt cap and the handle. Are your handles still? It's still the rounded handle for you, right?
Yes, I believe it is.
Not octagonal, even though the butt cap is octagonal, essentially.
Yes.
My only other qualms about it is I still feel like the edge guard is not as well built as some of the other paddles out there on the market.
It's some glossy plastic. It's weird.
I don't like that glossy plastic. I don't know about you.
Nope.
But because I think partly because it's also that glossy plastic, if they don't glue it or adhere it around the corners very well, you get that shimmer, and then you can kind of see a little bit of the imperfection of where like the crease is if they don't do it correctly. And I saw that with all my Engage paddles, like back from when I was playing with the Engage Encore, and I let it slide because the Encore was only 120, maybe 130, and I was like, okay, I'll let this slide. But for this one, because the Pursuit Pro is still very expensive, I don't know, I just can't give it that. I can't give it a pass on just build quality. But performance wise, no, it's definitely up there. I think it competes with, the best of the best out there right now, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I do think the price is going to hold some people back, but if you don't care about price, like, it's good. Obviously got a lifetime warranty. I will say they tried to fix the exposed polymer in the handle. It, by all technicality, does not have exposed polymer, but on the thick one, if you press your thumb in, you can still feel it. And also, like, it's not even just pressing into the center of it and feeling the polymer. It's like pressing the edge where the bevel would start is really sharp when you press there. Because, like, basically what they covered it with is just this squishy material or whatever. It's like, it's okay. And on the thin one, you can't really tell because the gap is so small, you can't really press your thumb in it as much. But the thick one, you can definitely tell. It's like, I only give them a half pass for this because it's like, there are definitely better feeling handles out there without a doubt. And actually, one thing, I didn't even think about talking about this on this pod, but we're going to go into it. Gotta love the improvisation. Quality control in pickleball is something I want to talk about just really quick, and you can kind of chime in whenever. But quality control across the board through almost every single brand is really bad. Some are worse than others. Like Yola really feels to be like they're all over the place. Like, they're just kind of all over the place. And here's the thing. I honestly think people would be much more okay spending this $250, $260 if you were guaranteed really good quality control. Like, if you knew that you weren't going to get a dud where one was rough on one side and smooth on the other, or it was just low across the board for grit, that would be great. If handles were built well or edge guards weren't really a concern. Like, I think right now quality control is in a stage where companies can get away with poorer quality control because not enough people notice or care. But I don't think you can keep charging this money and have bad quality control and get away with it. And if you want to be able to charge it, up your quality control to like Yonex tennis rackets or something where it's like best in class. Then people will pay.
I think the only company right now that has that quality control, I think, still is Gearbox, in my opinion.
Yes. I'm going to guess they have the highest quality control of any company right now.
Yeah, of all the paddles, and of all the companies for sure. You know, maybe you should make a tier list on quality control.
Oh man, that would be an interesting one. Ooh, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Be a little tougher to do, but that would be cool.
Well, because you have all the data. Well, you don't have all the data, but I think you have a good pulse across your Discord channel, across the comments, across your own experience and like Facebook groups and the people you've heard from. I think you can probably make a more, full list, more so than probably anybody else out there, in my opinion. Yeah. So that'd be interesting. I would like to see that.
I don't know. I do hope it gets better soon. It sparked my memory when you were talking about Engage with the edge guard, because they do sell the blemishes, which, you know, honestly, that could be a great deal for people who don't, like my mixed partner. She bought a blemished one, and the blemish was literally that edge guard crease. And it's like, okay, well, that doesn't impact performance at all. Now, if I had that and I bought it brand new, I would be pretty upset. Yeah. But I just feel like if companies started tightening up the quality control, there'd be a lot of happier people. It's just that I know they don't have to care, because the vast majority of customers are just going to be like, your average 3.0 at the park, or maybe even 3.5 isn't going to like notice some of this stuff.
Right. Okay. Well, before we get into your next topic, there's, I think, a few other paddles that I've hit recently that I just kind of want to quickly touch base on. I cleared this with Carbon, but Carbon sent me one of their Carbon Concepts. Can't talk too much about like what it's made or whatnot, but the feel and the play. You actually hit with one of the earlier prototypes, and I brought it over to Kansas City, and man, I got this newer version, and it is really good. Like, if they come out with it, it's gonna be a winner, in my opinion.
Is it very different from what I hit?
It's not very different, but it feels, I don't know how else to describe it, but it feels more controllable. I don't think the power is any less, but they did something where the touch of it and the feedback of it feels a lot better and just feels more controllable. I don't know how else to describe it. And here's the thing, they put some sort of extra coating on top of the raw carbon fiber, and it's kind of reminiscent of like almost like a Vanguard 2.0, but it still, in my opinion, still spins very well. And it'll probably make it maybe last a little bit longer I mean, only time will tell, but there's some interesting things going on with that. So excited for that to come out, I guess, whenever it does.
I agree. When I hit the one that you showed me, that was a nice paddle.
I was like, oh, yeah, whenever they come out with this. So, yeah, the CRBN Concepts. I don't know if and when they plan on kind of releasing that program, but yeah, that's going to be a sick paddle for sure. Have you been playing with anything else recently?
Nothing new to talk about right now. I'm working on the paddle techs.
The Movin' 13S. You texted me.
Yes, I did hit that. That paddle is really nice. I haven't gotten to hit it extensively, but it's relatively impressive on paper. The swing weight was 99, which is the lowest raw carbon fiber paddle I've ever hit. So if you're looking for something fast in the hand that's raw carbon fiber, thermoformed, like the GRUVN 13S is definitely it. The only thing is that it is 13 millimeter, so it's going to be a little more poppy off the face. So and might be a little harder on your arm as well, so do be warned about that. But yeah, that thing is flipping fast in the hand, and I'm sure if you wanted to bump up the power a little bit or whatever, add some lead, like you've got so much swing weight to work with, like you could add a lot of tape and be fine.
Yeah, I told you when we gave our top 5 paddles and I listed it, I was like, yo, that one's up there. It's definitely in my top 5. So that one's one to check out. And then let's see, was there anything else that you've hit recently that you'd want to talk about?
Nothing new. I mean, I've already talked about the paddle techs. I'm just working on my final review. I do still think those are showing a lot of promise. I'm really liking playing with it. I'm about to start customizing mine because out of the box, I do think it could be a little bit better. But honestly, my biggest holdup is just knowing how the grit's going to hold up. If the grit ends up being bad, it's going to it'll kind of make the paddle tech flop. But if the grit holds up at least on par with what's on the market, if not better, that will be very, very, very good for the paddle techs.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, cool. All right, well, next up here, you sent me this photo. This was the gold Ben John's Perseus? What?
Yes.
Like to celebrate Ben's 100th title. Okay, I see. So it is a
100th gold medal, yep.
So it's a kind of like a collector's version of the Perseus, but it's the same essentially, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
do you want to tell people the price?
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell people the price because when I saw it, I thought you were messing with me. When you sent me the screenshot, I was like, oh, he just photoshopped this in. But the thing was $1,000, $999.99. Maybe it was
95 cents. Come on, give him some credit.
Okay, 95 cents. $1,000. Okay. That, I don't know. What do you think about it? I think that's kind of...
No. You give me your thoughts first. I'll give you my thoughts after.
Okay. It's a little absurd. Like, who's paying for that? Who's paying for that? I mean, I wouldn't buy that. Oh, tell me why. You know? You don't tell me you bought it. Who would
buy it?
Did you buy one?
I bought it.
No, you didn't get that.
I saved this for the podcast. I intentionally didn't put it in the pod notes so I could tell you live.
No, you bought one.
I bought it. Now, here's the thing. I am 1,000% on board with you. I completely agree with you that this is absolutely absurd, and I would not even encourage people to go buy this. I only did this because I was like, that's content, baby. That's content. And a write-off.
Okay. All right, Chris, that's just true. You have a reason to buy it, to make content as a write-off, as a collector's item, as the man of many paddles. It makes sense, but you dropped it's only because I know you and I know how, price conscious and frugal you can be. So to hear you spend $1,000 on a piece of plastic that is sandwiched between sheets of carbon fiber with a plastic around it, who are you? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, Will.
Yeah.
Especially, because you know how much I look at finance stuff. This is probably the dumbest $1,000 I've ever spent. I won't even try and pretend like this was smart. No, this was just a dumb $1,000 spent, but I was like, I have to do it.
So what are you going to do with it? Please tell me are you going to play with it?
That's what I don't think I should.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. If not even, yes, but like, let's say I wanted to hypothetically sell it later. Okay, well, if you hit it, you probably ruin some resale value. And then what do I get hitting it? It's just a Perseus.
Okay, this is true, but also at the same time, you could also increase the resale value, because if this is the one that Chris Olsen from the Pickleball Studio hit one with,
There's no way that increases value. Not a shot. That could increase the value.
Come on. All right, look, if you and I played one match like together, the rematch or something, and this is the paddle you used, hit the winning shot. Come on,
won. And I won.
Oh, dude, if you won, shoot, it's the resale value is about to go through the roof exponentially.
It would be something, but at first when I saw this, I was like, this is ridiculous. And then I was sitting there, and I was like,
can you still buy it?
I should buy this. You can. Only when I checked last, there was still 86 out of 100 left.
86 out of 100. Okay, so, all right, let me see. Is it...
Are you pulling it up? Just go to YOLO's website. You'll see it. It's on the homepage.
Is it on the homepage? All right, let me see. YOLO
The
Pickleball.
only way I was able to tell how many were left was I just put in a higher order quantity than I knew was available. So if you put in 90, it will tell you how many are remaining.
It's actually not on the main page or anything.
If you go to the Pickleball page, it should be there.
I know I did. Nothing.
Oh, weird. I don't know. It was there for me on YOLOUSA.com or whatever. Oh. They've got IP banned.
I don't see it.
Weird. Okay. Well, we'll find it later. But unless it's sold out or something. But I got mine, so maybe I did make a good decision. Maybe it'll appreciate in value. I don't know. But I doubt it. Highly doubt it.
So it's just the paddle. It comes in a box. Or a case.
Briefcase.
And I've seen the briefcase. I've seen that briefcase before, and that briefcase, unless they do something different with it, it's honestly, it's not a bad briefcase, but it's also nothing special.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, the whole thing of this is so over the top to me, but hey, I bought it, so I guess it worked. But I feel like I had an actual reason. I was like, okay, I can do something with my job for this. There's no way if I was an average pickleball player, I'd buy that. There's no way.
Dude, if they all sold out, Yola just made an easy $100,000.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy. Okay. Anyways.
Easy 100K.
Easy 100K.
So yeah, that's the golden Ben Johns Perseus. I was not expecting to see that. It was funny. I had a friend over while I was buying this, and I showed it to him, and he was like, that's ridiculous. And then I was like, dude, I think I'm gonna buy it. And I think he thought I was joking, and I was like,
and then you showed him.
I think I'm actually gonna buy. And then I was on my phone when I was doing this, and then I leaned over and I grabbed my laptop, and he was like, you're actually gonna buy it?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I am. And then I eventually checked out, and he was like, wait, did you seriously buy it? And I was like, yes.
Well, now you have to do an unboxing, and you have to just go to your pickle. You have to milk the content out of this. You need to do an unboxing video. You need to go to your local courts, and you just need to see people's reactions of, hey, you know how much this paddle is? And then you tell them the price, and then you have to show them the screenshot of the order, and show how much money you paid, and just to see what they say. And then there's a part of me that still thinks that you should hit with it, and then or let other people hit with it.
You know what I should do?
Yeah.
I should do those videos where people take their laptop and they leave it in a coffee shop. I should take the paddle and leave it at the pickleball courts before it's busy, and have a camera that films it, and just see if someone tries to steal it.
Yeah. I'm going to steal it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to do a serve with it. And I'm like, yep, that's $1,000 serve right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shoot.
I thought you were going to say $1,000 down the drain.
That's me chucking. I would probably, just to make you cry, I'd probably steal it and I would just chuck it somewhere.
I'll probably maybe I'll frame this paddle or something. Maybe it'll just be permanently on my shelf or something. I don't know. I'll do something with it. You know what this reminded me of, this paddle? Okay, granted, we obviously knew this was going to happen. Did you watch the end of the US Open final?
Yes.
Did you see the ceremony leading into it?
Actually, no. I didn't. I just once Djokovic won, I tuned out.
Well, okay. I'm sure you heard about this with his last Grand Slam, but after he won, he pulled out a jacket that had 23 on it for 23 Grand Slams. When he finished this one, he had a shirt that was already made that had 24 on it, and a jacket that had 24.
He knew.
For this YOLO one, or for this paddle, Yola was there, and like after he won, they had like the gold paddle and like took some pictures with it. And I was like, this is like the Djokovic thing. Like they knew. Now, granted, with Ben, it was way more guaranteed. He had 3 chances to get his 100th gold medal. The odds of him not getting it were slim, but the connection and timing was funny in my head.
They planned this out, way in advance. Man,
for sure. Anyways, we'll move on from that. I just wanted to move on to this because, when people right, they're wrong. We like to make sure everyone else knows. So last week when I did the solo pod, I told you all that my video had gotten a copyright claim, the gold medal match, and I was like, this is ridiculous. It's amateur play. There is not a pro in sight. All there is a banner. So I had emailed one of my contacts at the PPA and was just like, hey, my video got claimed. Like, I tried to dispute. It didn't work. It just seems kind of ridiculous to me that, whatever, the video got claimed.
Damn.
And then they cleared it with their clearinghouse. So it is what I thought. It's an automated system that like scans the background for like PPA or whatever in the video and then flags it. I was told that amateur matches are supposed to be given to like another person and manually gone through to make sure that if the copyright claim should actually go through, because amateur matches probably doesn't matter. What they're trying to avoid is the pro matches, which is what I figured. But that's why I also thought it was weird that mine got claimed, and when I tried to dispute, it didn't work, which is why I was frustrated. But anyways, long story short, my video is now fine. There's no claim on it anymore, and I believe it shouldn't happen in the future. So if it ever happens to anyone else who has an amateur match, just know that you can probably get it cleared up, hopefully.
Basically, what you need to do is contact Chris and let Chris, call it in.
No,
all right? Because Chris knows some people, the higher ups over at the PPA, and then, he'll threaten them and be like, hey,
no,
just
never.
Don't do this. All right. I'm the PB studio. Y'all better back down. Okay. It's funny. I saw that because they responded to one of my comments in that video. I said, well, what did I say? It said something along the lines of, PPA should be thanking us for posting this. What are they doing?
Basically.
And then, they responded back to my comment. They're like, oh, we're sorry. We will, moving forward, we'll no longer do this. And then also they went to one of my videos on my channel too, and they said, well, you've been put on a small list of content creators or channels where this shouldn't be
like
an
a
issue
clean list.
Like a clean list, like not like a white list, not a black list, a white list. And I was like, dang, look at this, we got clout. Thank you. Shoot.
I did. What's funny, I didn't even see the comments. Normally I'm really good about seeing those, but I actually heard about it through you. I knew my video was gonna get brought back because I had emailed them, but I didn't see the comments until you sent them to me, and I was like, oh, I didn't know they were like commenting on the video.
Yeah, I screenshotted it and I posted up on my story just for everybody to see, and I just thought it was funny. I was like, yep, look at that. They backtrack. They know. Shoot, it was that moment when you got that message or I saw the comment. I was like, that's right. Do you not know who we are?
You know what's funny? Everyone in my inner circle is always like you, my wife, like everyone else is always worried about me getting the inflated ego. But no. It's Will's over here like, yeah, we got the clout. I'm like, bro, I'm just happy I got my video back.
I have to, you see, this is the thing, Chris, you're so incredibly humble. I'm like your inner thoughts, and I'm just expressing these out on your behalf because I know you won't do it for yourself. And this here, I know.
Hey,
I said this before.
Let's make this clear. This is not like the Tyler Loon Jimmy show where Jimmy just says what Tyler's actually thinking.
True. We have a little bit more control or discipline than that. Thankfully,
yes.
It's because of you. It's because you're such an exceptional human being. And I think I told you this before. Okay, guys. So like Chris is honestly the nicest and also like the most humblest human being like I think I've ever met. And he's genuinely nice. Like, you ever hear that saying, what's it called? Kill him with kindness? That is you. And it destroys me sometimes. Like you're such a good person. And when I look at you, it annoys me that you're so good. Like I don't know whether I want to kiss you or I want to punch you in the face. That's how and that's how I knew that you and I would be really good friends. Okay. So
it's so funny to hear these things like way later down the road. Like it's just so funny to me.
Yeah, exactly. So I got to get mad for you. Like when you tell me stories, I'm like, you're not mad at this? Are you serious?
This is like an older brother, younger sibling thing. It's like the older brother's like, who do I got to beat up?
Exactly.
And I'm like, no, it's fine. It's like, bro, it's fine. We're good.
Yeah. No, I'm ready. ready to tear shit up. Like, let's go.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, are you ready to move on to the Pickleball stuff?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to the Pcklmart stuff.
So tell me more about this, because you know them better than I do. Like, you kind of did a lot of the behind the scenes on this stuff. So tell me more.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Pcklmart, Pcklmart.com. It is a site. It's ran by and started by a buddy of mine named Alex Pancake, and he has a few partners, Peter, and I think there was somebody else. But anyways, Alex Pancake, he is as far as I can, a data scientist, and he is also a very good player. 5.0 plus. Funny enough, if you scroll back to my personal channel, there's like before, like my first 2 videos on Pickleball on my channel, it's just me reacting to gameplay of a match that I had, and Alex Pancake is one of the players in that video. And another fun fact, remember that exhibition match I told you about where the pros were playing against Ben John's 2v1 in the Washington, D.C. area? Alex Pancake was one of the other 5.0 players who played against Ben John's 2v1 and lost. Alex,
yep, makes sense.
You need to practice. I'm just kidding. Alex is a much better player than I am. Anyways, he started this. He loves data, and he listens to our pod. And when I messaged him, I asked him, "Hey man, could you do a stat sheet, right, or a stat report on our gold medal match?" And he was like, "It's funny, Will." He said, "I was just listening to the pod and I heard that, and I was already thinking about it." And he's like, "Let me know when the video is up, and yeah, I'll be happy to do it." So he did it, and I sent you the report. We'll post up some screenshots and put a link in the description or in the show notes for you guys to kind of look into it and just kind of peruse around. But and he also explains kind of the thought process or the algorithms that he has, because he has impacts, player impact score. He has some percentages and errors, and he has like a heat map that shows where balls are being hit. And then if you look at the heat map, there are separate dots, and if you click on those dots, it'll go to that point within the match, which I think is really cool. I think overall it gives you some interesting information, but you really have to kind of sit down and dive deep to draw conclusions and information from the data points, because I don't think it's maybe not robust enough to make easy kind of conclusions from the data. Was there
all I took out of the data was that I was better than you.
Are you sure about that?
Just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding.
Well, I will say in the first, if you look at just this chart called the player impact chart, right? Mm-hmm. And you look at our lines in the first 2 games, you did do better than me. And then the final game, I kind of did better than you. And the way
which makes sense, because that's how it felt.
Yeah, for sure. I was, it was the end of the day. I'm like drained, and remember, like I did not know where to stand, and I didn't even remember whose serve it was. Remember, there was like they won that point or a winner. I went to grab the ball, and then I went to go stand on the service line, like I was ready to serve. And you're
dude, we almost put that in the video, and the only reason I took it out was because of how the camera was framed. You couldn't see where you were serving from, like you were out of frame. So the joke didn't make sense because you couldn't see that you were lined up waiting to serve. But then I think you hear everyone on the court be like, "Will, no, it's their serve." And then like we kind of laughed, so I just cut it out. But it would have been way funnier if we could have seen you.
You saw me? Oh, man. All right. Well, the way that this chart looks, if you look at the x-axis, right, it basically goes through the number of rallies. So basically every single rally that you played, essentially every single point that you played, it goes from 0 to, 140. And then, based on how well you did within that rally, like your score or your placement on the player impact would be there. And dude, I'm just looking at this, like between us and then our opponents, AJ and Jamin, like they're just so much better than us. Like we were kind of around the same point, and then near the end of the match, like they just played better and better, and I felt like we were just trying to just play okay. you know?
For sure. I just took my phone off the stand so I can like look closer at the notes, but they were definitely more consistent. I think when you look at the stats across the board, and we're not even going to be able to go through all this, guys, because if you click on the link, like you'll see how robust this is. Like it is a significant breakdown of data, but there were a couple things I wanted to point out that I thought was interesting. So they there's a stat in there called shot type frequencies, and here are like all the stats that they have, which is transition zone, dink, serve, return, third shot drop, hand battle, speed up, third shot drive, unknown, reset, and lob. And then they break everything down by a percentage. So transition zone was the highest percentage of shot type, and it was 27%. Then a dink was 18.6, serve was 13.6, return 13.3, and then third shot drop 8.8, hand battle 8.8, speed up 4.2, and then third shot drive 3.8%. So it was just a very interesting breakdown of some of those stats in there, and it's just kind of cool to be able to like see all of this.
Yeah, I think without kind of sitting down and talking about it, I think it would just be kind of too boring to really talk about it. But some interesting things to take away when I look at the frequency of the certain type of shots, by all accounts, we hit a lot more balls to Jamin because he took a lot more third shots. We sent a lot of third shots to Jamin. We're trying to avoid AJ because AJ was a stronger player. And if you look at the player impact chart...
Wait, but wasn't Jamin the one on the left?
He was...
I think Jamin's the taller one, isn't he?
No, Jamin's the shorter one. He was on the right.
Oh, really? Okay, I guess I have them mixed up. For some reason, I thought AJ was the shorter one this whole time. My bad. No.
Yeah, we definitely tried to avoid AJ, and rightfully so, because on the player impact, AJ had the most impact, as a player, whenever he touched the ball or whenever he was in a rally, he would essentially win those. He had the least amount of mistakes between all of us. I think out of all of his shots, his mistake percentage was 1% or something with however many touches he got. And not only that, but you can see by the third shot frequency, third shot count, Jamin had the most amount of took the most amount of third shots. And they also hit, and then you were second because they returned or hit a lot of shots to you. And then it's just very interesting to see because Jamin, out of, 50 shots, third shots that he took, it looks like almost 90% of them were drops. And then a small percentage were drives. I think that's the same across the board. Yours was pretty even, I would say half and half, maybe a little bit more lean towards third shots. And me, according to this data, I'm a banger.
You are a banger. Dude, your third shot drive chart is higher than both Jamin and AJ's third shot drives combined.
Right. It's kind of crazy. And also, I think I can't remember where the stat was in here, but I remember when I was on the call with Peter, he looked at a very interesting stat for me for my returns. And he said, I'm trying to go through it right now, but he says, dude, you had a very high percentage of returns that led into a favorable interaction. So he said it was 25% or something. And he's like, that's very high. And I guess he wanted to know what I was doing with my returns. But basically, he just, from this data, he said you
were banging the ball.
Yeah. But we're all returning, right? But he says your returns were very effective. You're probably the best returner just from the data alone without watching it. He's like, you're probably the best returner out of the four. So I don't know. There's some very interesting things here. And right now, in its current form, I think that unless you are a really analytical person, I think you really have to sit down and look at this because the heat map I think is cool, but unless there's a separate heat map for each player or when they are on a certain side, because right now it just shows throughout the whole entire game. But because, if you don't stack the whole time or you sometimes stack or whatnot, the data is kind of muddled up. So the heat map doesn't really help you all too much, but it will show you that many players kind of like to dink to this side overall, throughout the match, but you can't really draw conclusions from just looking at the heat map just for yourself,
Yes. And another interesting thing that I took away from it, and we already knew this, but I guess we got to work on it some more, You do not speed up the ball.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. I was just looking at this right now. Let's see. So our speed up percentages, our total speed up percentages after however many touches we had, overall was 13.1%. But you had 19% of your touches, and me, it's 4.5%. And in comparison, AJ and Jamin as a team, theirs was 20.6%. So very close to ours. But AJ speeds up 24% and Jamin speeds up 17%. I do not speed up.
Yeah. At 2, your total speed ups were 2 to my 12.
Yeah. It's kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie.
That is crazy. And that's a good thing. Like it says, their speed ups led to a win 54.5% of the time as a team, and ours was only 28.6% of the time. And I think there has been a stat within the pros that just about like speed ups and win percent. So I thought this was pretty interesting. We already had a feeling that I sped up more than you, but now we really know that you don't speed up the ball.
Right. But what do the pros do? What is the conclusion of the pros? Like, if they speed up, do they win or do they lose?
I think, I'm having to remember a bit because it's been a minute since I've looked at it, but I want to say it's a lot of times whoever speeds up first is usually on the winning side. Actually, I'm really not sure about that. I think I've seen this debated a couple times. So I'm not going to say anything definitive because I actually can't remember, but there's just a lot of interesting stats about like who's speeding up first and the hand battle win percentages. And like, it's a stat that seems to matter a lot. Like if you're winning your speed ups, a lot of times it seems to result in you winning the game, if I remember that correctly.
I mean, no, and this is true. So AJ, the percentage that led to him winning or their team winning the rally was almost 70% when they sped it up. So yeah, that's probably goes. I don't know if there was something here to talk about counters, but I think that's another reason why we didn't kind of speed up nearly as much, because they would just either neutralize it or they would just speed back up with us, and we would lose. And plus, like, their dinks were just way better. And when it comes to errors by team, I think
this was what I was gonna say next, because I was gonna say, baby,
yeah,
I had less errors than you, Will. Now
you did.
Now the only thing I'm gonna preface this with, to make this fair, because I think this would be very easy to take out of context, my hunch is that I had less errors because, for the most part, I was trying to play a more consistent role, and then that meant you were probably taking more risks a lot of the time than I was.
Right.
I mean, now granted, a speed up probably is more risk, so maybe that's not entirely true, but basically, I remember trying to just be steady, so it would make sense that my errors would be lower, because I felt like you were the one to put the ball away usually.
Yeah, I was trying to put the ball away. Yeah, so this was interesting as well. I can't remember which stat line it was or what conclusion that Peter, when I was on a call with him, but he said that, I had more errors, but also some of those errors, or within that time frame of that game, I had more impact. So you had errors, but those led to favorable things. So you had to take more. And if you were safer, so you had less errors, but we didn't win that many rallies, when you were touching the ball. So it's very interesting. Just from this, I think this kind of just justifies that, like, how we play, and that we do play well together because of our play styles. But definitely some things to work on. I need to work on speeding up. I'm sure Jordan would say that. I need to work on the dinking. Like,
you gotta get those. Same. Honestly, I felt it too, though. Like when even without data, when I just think about that match, I just remember not feeling comfortable dinking for a long time with them. It was a lot of me thinking, "Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing for the most part, like try not to mess this up, but also it was hard because I was like, okay, if I go here, what's going to happen? Like, how likely am I to, catch them off by surprise or whatnot? And it just felt like there wasn't that many opportunities. And also their dinks were just so good and so low. I just felt like there was no opportunities. I will say, though, that this is something that Jordan told me. He says that when I work on my speed ups and my dinks, he says you need to choose the same form, right? So it looks the same. So there's more of a surprise factor, because Jordan says when he played with me, he's like, I can tell, like, your speed ups are good, but it's like, I can tell when you're going to speed up or when you're going to dink, because the form and the motion is very different. And I think that shows here, because I felt like they were ready every single time. And maybe that's why I didn't speed up, because I think the 2 or 3 times that I did speed up, we lost, like 100% like loss percentage for when I sped it up, because they were ready.
Yep, for sure. No, so I mean, the whole data thing I just thought was really cool to kind of see our match broken down. You guys can go look at it and maybe take something from it that you will. I hope they continue to do more stats. I feel like this is some of the easier stuff to read. I still think it could probably be broken down into more meaningful data, but like, I think we'll get there eventually, where there's like the really detailed data, but then there's kind of what you would give the player and be like,
right,
here's what you should have been targeting, or here's what you can work on, versus just a big set of numbers and then the player has to kind of distill.
Right. So when I was talking to Peter and Alex, they said that eventually they would like, when you have a rally, they would like some metadata tagged to it. So it's like, who hit this, who killed it, what kind of shot it was, and then you can then filter out or take all the data sets that pertain to you as a player, and then you can get that data and extrapolate it to get more meaningful information. And also, they did tell me they were thinking about having multiple kind of reports depending on your level, because he says, when you play 3-5 to 4-0, the game looks different, right? And you're looking at different things. Maybe you want to track the errors more, or when you want to track how many times you drove, or, things like that. And whereas when you're getting to 4-5 plus, you want to maybe track the directions of the dinks or the drops, like which direction you hit it to. So depending on the player and the level, you could get, one report or a different report, or you can get 3 different type of reports, and then you can take that and make your own conclusions from it. Because even Jordan said this. He said, he said at the 3-0 to maybe like 4-0 level, the thing that you should be working on the most is not dinks or drops, but it's volleys, drives, and counters. Right. Yeah. And that makes sense, because you haven't developed that touch yet. So you just need to learn how to hit hard, because most people are not, returning these backs or dropping it back, or if they're returning it, it's high enough where you can just smash it and put it away. And I think there's some merit to that, and to the way you collect data,
Yeah. No, I think very cool. I'm excited for more data to come to Pickleball. I think it's going to be something that is really useful when whoever basically figures out the best way to do this, best way to break it down, best way to visualize. It's going to be, I think, really important, and probably is really important to some players already. I mean, it sounds like some of these players basically just do this manually, and if you could just have a coach or someone present this to you and go, here it is, that's a pretty big positive impact on your time, and time is definitely valuable as a pro player.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Cool.
So yeah, that was the stats. You guys can take a look at it. I think it's really cool. Shout outs to Alex, Peter, and the Pcklmart team. I think this stuff is really cool if you're a data nerd. And also if you have your own gameplay, you can go to their site and submit it, and then they can give you a breakdown as well. And they'll be more than happy, I think, if they have time, to hop on a call with you to kind of look through the data with you. And maybe you can draw some interesting conclusions and help you out with your game. Yeah, no, sweet. Well, if you've made it this far, you've officially made it to the kitchen. So congrats on that. We've got just a couple random things in here to talk about, just like some, miscellaneous stuff or whatever. But first, I just wanted to talk about the whole PPA and MLP thing. I'm sure, or I'm just guessing that you haven't followed it too closely. And to be honest, hasn't been that much outside of MLP signing, JW and like that, the whole crew of people that were remaining. That was big. That, I think, basically shifted the tides in favor of MLP. It was pretty clear, like, okay, PPA, you've got a bunch of tennis players that have retired and some 5-0s that you picked up off the street. So nice. I looked at some of these dupers and I'm like, man, maybe I should be trying to get signed. Like, this is crazy. I'm like, my duper's not far off some of these people. Really?
Yeah, I don't remember what the lowest one that I saw was, but there were definitely some like right at like 5-0. So I was like, okay. I mean, who knows? Now, granted, maybe they haven't had games in a while and they're a much better player than that. My guess is that's probably what it is. But I was just like, shoot, we're really like reaching down in the barrel.
We should go. We should just try and sign. You make those phone calls, Chris. You got the connects. I know you do.
I have no desire. There's
just
no
make
way.
the connects. Just like have them sign us, at least like sign a contract for, 6 events for next year. Just you and me. Let's go.
I'll go MLP, you go PPA, and then we can converge on the pod and to just tell everyone all the details. Here's everything you need to know about MLP and PPA. Will's like they're talking about all the players on each side, and we just come over here and we're like, here's all the info.
There you go. Yeah.
But anyways, other than that, there's been a couple random signings here and there. The PPA actually did get what seemed to be a reasonably big one. There's like a women's tennis player that
Eugenie
did
Bouchard.
You know who that was?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know who Eugenie Bouchard is. Funny enough, my cousin on my mom's side, distant cousin, I think her name is Steffi. I've only met her like a handful of times, but she lives in Canada and she used to play with Eugenie Bouchard in like juniors, like way back in the day. And Eugenie Bouchard also is 2014 finalist, but she kind of fell off. I think there was some injuries, some mental health things, and I haven't seen her on the tour. Ever since.
In a while.
Yeah, ever since then. And I guess now she's making the switch to pickleball. What did John McEnroe say? Like, pickleball is where tennis players go to die. So.
And then I think I can't remember if it was recently. I think Jack Sock said something about it's just where they go to retire. Like this is just where they go after they're done with tennis. Like it's just, it's I guess a more positive outlook than John McEnroe, or nicer spin. But I have two thoughts, and maybe I'm not allowed to pick both because it's like the two obvious choices.
Okay.
Actually, I probably do need to just pick one. But basically, my opinion, this is either going to result in one of them getting bought, probably the PPA, since I feel like MLP holds all the cards. Yes, PPA has Ben and Anna Lee, but it's like, okay, from a product right now, you have Ben and Anna Lee who are already having a hard time getting challenged. Mm-hmm. Now, you took out pretty much every single person who has given them any kind of hard time this year, and now I feel like they just have a walk in the park. So you make the problem you already had way bigger, which was that Ben and Anna Lee win everything, and usually they win by a lot. Now I think they're just going to win by even more.
I see. So you're saying they might get bought or they'll be gone as a product, like for viewers? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, either they're going to get bought, they'll die, and I guess the third option would be, and there's been rumors circulating around, I have no idea how true or not true, but that there's talks about them remerging again. And now,
oh gosh,
let's talk about
Make
this
up
really
your
quick.
mind, guys. Oh.
Dude, I know. This is like a toxic relationship. On, off, on, off. Like, just make up your mind. Either break up or stay together and be toxic, I guess. I don't know. But what do you think is going to happen if they remerge and all these players who've been trashing PPA? I don't think I've heard anyone trash MLP yet. But like Zane's been pretty vocal about not liking PPA. I feel like that's really awkward if they merged again.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, it'll be real awkward, and there'll be some bad blood for sure. But this is whatever. This is all their own faults, And you made the players pick sides, and this is what's gonna happen. Although
sure.
I don't think PPA will be bought. I don't think they're going anywhere. They have, at least they have some, like, I don't know if they're making money, right? But at least they have like revenue coming in, because if people go to the tournaments, they have entry fees and whatnot, so they have money coming in. MLP, like, all you got is it's an event to go spectate.
But now there's only been pictures, and this is probably largely assumptions from a lot of people, and this is what I thought for a little bit was, well, okay, they're probably not only going to be a team event, because I don't think all the people who moved over there only want team events.
Right.
And I think they would just have, I think people would maybe get a little burnt out on that or miss the original format. okay, now you sign a deal with APP and they run the normal league and now the pros play over there. Now amateurs want to go see a lot of talent over there because, I don't know, do I really want to watch PPA or Ben and Annalie mop up on like a random like upcomer from the qualifier?
Right.
Like, I probably don't. That's probably not entertaining. So then maybe more amateurs start playing APP.
Yeah, it could be possible. I don't know what the inner workings or inner dealings of multi-billionaires are like, in the back room. But maybe Ken Herman is in there striking a deal. Who knows? Have you heard anything about that? Are they doing that?
I mean, I've just heard rumors that they're talking, but who knows how. Here's my thought.
Yeah.
There's no way that there wasn't going to be a discussion because I really think if you're PPA, you're sitting there going, holy crap, what are we going to do? Like everything I just said.
Yeah.
I'm sure they already know that's a problem and they don't want that to be the case. Mm-hmm. So your best option is to go back and try and renegotiate something or figure out something that makes people happy. But I don't know. I also think after this, if you're Tom Dundon, you're probably pretty angry and you're probably looking for how you can get revenge. So if you merge again, are we just going to see like Dundon do what Steve just did and like steal all these players?
Who knows? I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again. All this money just being thrown out there is just bad for pickleball. It could be spent so much better. Like for the sport and for the game, and now we're just,
I don't know, man. A lot of these pros, they're bathing in money now.
I mean, yeah, they are, but the pros win. Like, don't get me wrong, the pros are winning, but overall, as a community as a whole, like we lose.
Yeah,
viewers lose. The sponsors lose. The tour loses. Shoot, I mean, and then new people who come into the game looking to, be part of the pro scene. Not maybe looking to be part of the pro scene, but just to view it, to see who's the best and whatnot. To watch, right. They don't know where to begin. Could you imagine having to try and navigate this as a new person coming into the sport, wanting to spectate and wanting to see who's the best, right?
Yep.
It's annoying.
It would be hard. It would be really hard. So, yeah, I mean, my thought is that this probably just ends in a merger. I think at some point they remerge, and there's no way these 3-year contracts last the way that they're listed. I mean, already saw that with previous PPA contracts. Maybe they were all going to end in 2024, but I thought some of them were going a little longer. That sure didn't. 3 years is an eternity. Do we really think everything is just going to be 2 separate tours for the next 3 years where they hold all these players? No, something is going to happen. There's no way I buy that it's that way for 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it. Pickleball changes so fast. We didn't even have this talk of this original merge for more than a year, and we split up, and now if they got back together again in, 2 weeks, I wouldn't be surprised. Yep. If another tour pops up, I wouldn't be surprised anymore. Maybe we should just start our own.
Yeah, start our own.
Start our own. Let's start with
one
studio
league.
Exactly, one exhibition match, and then the pros come to play, and then who knows? Maybe it'll grow into something.
I'll pay in
paddles
portions of a gold Ben Johns Perseus. Do you want core or do you want handle? You want part of Ben's signature or do you want the YOLO logo?
I want the YOLO logo, and I want some of that exposed polymer if they have any.
No, they don't got any of that, unfortunately. Sorry. Okay. My gosh. Okay, well, the other thing that we got to talk about, because you saw this, right? Tyson flipping off Tyler.
Yeah, so what I saw clips of it, and I saw memes of Pickleball. Everybody posted about it, but I don't know what happened. What was the whole context, right?
Did you listen closely to the clip? Because you could hear what Tyson was saying.
No, I couldn't hear it. No, that's the thing. I couldn't hear it. What did it say?
If you, I mean, I'm not going to say anything on the podcast, but it was fairly vulgar. I mean, there was definitely some F-bombs and some other things that I was like. Okay,
but what was it pertaining to? Was it just a bunch of curse words?
It was, I don't know how much they got into it on the court, because at some point the cameras, they switched off, or, you didn't get to see the entire conversation unfold. But basically, match happens, they meet or whatever, and then Tyson's walking back to get his towel, and then all of a sudden you just see him turn to Tyler, and just you saw the clip, he just flips him off and he just starts dropping some F-bombs.
Yeah.
And basically, and I knew this was going to happen eventually. Have you ever watched any of Tyler and Jimmy's podcast?
Some of it, some clips here and there. Yeah, they're going at it at some people for sure.
Yeah, they're kind of like the TMZ of pickleball. I mean, that's why I think it does well. I mean, you've just got a lot of drama that people don't get to hear about or whatever. So it's like, people love gossip. So they're, whatever. It's fine. But I had a feeling that this was going to come back and bite them at some point. And here's the problem in my eyes. So this happens, and Tyler goes to Twitter. And basically what this whole thing seems to be about, I don't know for sure, I wasn't there, but what it seems to be about is in previous episodes, Jimmy's made fun of Tyson for like accusing him of buying fake followers, and then on Instagram. And then also there was a photo of like Tyson's wife and him at the airport, and like she was carrying like all of the bags and Tyson was like carrying nothing. So Jimmy just said something like, oh, you couldn't even carry your own bags or something. Like, he was poking fun at him.
Yeah.
Basically, as far as I'm aware, it's those two things. Somehow, maybe that's what set Tyson off. Maybe there was something in the match. Maybe it was a combination of things. Whatever. Here's my thought. Okay, first, that reaction seems a little overboard to me. Especially to do it on court with everyone there seems a little extreme. But then the other thing is Tyler went to Twitter after and was like, somebody, and Instagram, was like, tell me where I personally attacked Tyson. And that never happens because Jimmy just says what Tyler wants to say, but Tyler isn't going to say it because he's a pro. That's why when you said the thing earlier about like, I'm going to say like, I was like, no, we don't do that. we don't do that. But I know, if you listen to Jimmy and Tyler, there's no doubt that is what happens. I'd be shocked if that wasn't the case. This is what everyone thinks. Anyways, he said that. So then everyone was kind of like, well, here's the thing, dude. You may not have said it, but Jimmy did say it, and you either laugh at it or acknowledge it in some capacity and still post it. So you're still responsible a little bit.
Right.
Which I kind of agree with. Now here's the thing. You shouldn't be responsible for everything your co-host says. But if you say something really bad and you disagree with it, you probably just shouldn't post it.
Right.
Or you should cut it out. We've done that before. Like, we've had to cut things out of the pod. Like, So I don't know. I guess just tell me what you think of the whole situation now that you have slightly more context.
Yeah. So now that I have a little bit more context on potentially what it's about, it seemed kind of silly to me because you say something on someone else's pod. I mean, at this point, you're essentially celebrities, and you got to know that people are going to be talking trash about you, on socials or whatnot, and whether they're kidding or they're not. But I don't think first of all, if Tyler really thought it was not okay, then yeah, just like take it out. But they're not going to take it out because that's what their pod is about. It's dishing out the drama, right? Yeah. And I think if you know that that's what they're kind of going for, a part of me feels like you shouldn't let that get to you, at least get to you so much that you have to air out your grievances on court in the manner that Tyson did, right? I honestly expected more from Tyson, but we don't have the full story.
Yeah.
Right. We're only assuming from what we can see and what they said. They could have had other arguments before or had, private messages before that could be unsavory to Tyson, and it just kind of boiled up. So, and you kind of have to stand up somewhere. And who knows if Tyler was egging Tyson on during the match or saying some things, then, I could see that happening. We're not all perfect, right? Things get under our skin. Unless your name is Chris Olsen, because like almost nothing gets under your skin. You have to get mad on his behalf, Nah,
I just get mad in private, or I just go beat myself up.
Right. So I still don't think it's good for the game overall, but it was great for entertainment and a few memes, I will have to say. I'm sure the
memes of Pickleball was loving it.
Oh yeah. I'm sure a lot of other people were loving it as well. Did Tyson or Tyler address it in their latest pods or episodes or any posts or anything?
None of it's come out yet. Honestly, by the time ours comes out, it will probably start coming out, and that's when people will figure it out or whatever. I'm sure they're going to talk about it on the pod and break it all down, but I just don't know. I have my main thoughts on this situation are that, one, if you are a pod that primarily dishes out drama, which is what King of the Court is, which is not a bad thing. I've gotten plenty of entertainment out of that pod. I've listened to it, and there's some things that just make me chuckle because I'm like, no one else is willing to say this. But if you're going to go there, you also have to know that at some point these are people you interact with, and even if you didn't directly say it, which or maybe isn't fair, or mean it. I mean, like, again, Jimmy does most of the talking and Tyler's kind of just reacting. But I just feel like you had to have known this was going to bite you at some point. If that's what your pod is,
you're going to upset some people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to upset some people, and perception is reality. So whether you mean to make it offensive or not, or, you know, it could be. You don't know. You don't know how they're going to feel or how they're going to react to it. And maybe this is just one of those situations where it happened, and who knows? Will be interesting to see when they face off each other on the court again. But this is also kind of good for the sports. And now we have some juicy, storylines and personal rivalries, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It was quite the mess, but it definitely gave some entertainment. And I just thought, like, I really tried to think over this thing this whole weekend. I was like, who's in the wrong? Like, who's in the right? And I was just kind of like, both are wrong. That's kind of my conclusion. I was like, I think everyone kind of did wrong.
Yeah, you tell him, Chris. Gosh, you're just better human being than all of us.
Okay.
Yep.
we can't fluff this up too much. Someone's gonna like see me eat something wrong at a like tournament, and they're gonna be like, "This guy's a jerk." Will lied to me. I am not a perfect human being by no means, people. Am I a perfect human being?
You definitely not. No. But in comparison to me and others, yeah, he is. He makes me want to punch him in the face.
Hey, well, I mean, the Pickleball stats said I got less errors, and we can just translate that to life. Just got less life errors. But you also have more time on Earth, so you have more time to mess up by like almost 10 years.
Okay. This don't age me so too much now.
Yes. Anyways, this is really small. I just threw this in there because I didn't feel like we needed to recap the entire PPA. There's going to be spoilers right here, so if you're not ready for it, I'm going to give you like another 5 seconds to pause your phone while you drive. All right, that was probably enough time. Federico beat Ben Johns, and it was a really entertaining singles match, dude.
Nice.
It was great.
You watched the whole thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I did turn on the Tennis US Open like right as they were in like the tail end of the third game or whatever. So but I was with a friend, we both wanted to watch US Open, and so yeah, I didn't get to see like the last few points. But Fed won 11-9, lost 2-11, and then won 11-9. So, good job, Federico. He's grinding this stuff out.
Yeah, man, Fed's been improving day in and day out, just grinding. Shoot, wonder if, was Ben not, I mean, he must have been playing pretty good. He beat him 11-2. That was a hard fight. Those close games. 11-9, 2-11, 11-9. So, shoot.
You know what? I'm going to claim a little bit right here.
What?
Claim this a little bit. Federico's been playing with Scorpius, and remember when I reviewed the Perseus and Scorpius, and I said the Scorpius is better? Hey, I'm just saying, he's playing with a Scorpius. I'm gonna
he messaged
add a little bit of Chris Olsen. He did message me actually.
Fed actually messaged Chris directly. He was like, "Hey, what do you think about these two?" And you told him.
Yeah, I did. I can't remember, to be honest, it was like forever ago, and so everyone knows I'm kidding, because sometimes I think I say things and I assume people know I'm kidding. I think I had absolutely zero reason that he actually switched, but he did message me and asked me, like, I can't remember if it was something about power and the sweet spot, but basically we went back and forth on the Scorpius, and he had some thoughts, and I was like, no, I completely agree. Like, this is exactly how I view these. I think the Scorpius is a better paddle, and he won with a Scorpius, so Team Scorpius.
All right, 1 for Chris. All right, here we go. Chris's head now just inflating. The
I've
ego.
got 1-0 on Ben right now.
You got 1.
Oh gosh, but in all seriousness, he played really well. Some really fun singles to watch. Like, it's been fun to watch Fed, like, you know, come up on the tour and just like he's in like what feels like every single championship Sunday now. Like he is, it's Ben and him or whoever and Fed. You know what I mean?
All right, well that's cool. Congrats, Fed. And then I want to put up one last thing in the kitchen before we sign off here. When I was in Hawaii, I met a man by the name of Eric. I went to go play at Diamond Head Tennis Center, some rec play, and I was just leaving the course to go throw something away. And then this guy comes through in the court, and we're both wearing sunglasses. I have a hat on, but he stops and says, "Dude, are you Pickleball Will?" And I was like, "Where?" He's looking behind me. And then I was like, yeah, I am. And he's like, "Dude," and this is the first thing he said to me. He said, "Dude, I always make it to the kitchen." And I'm like, this guy's definitely getting a shout. This is how I know this man is a true fan of the pod, because the first thing he said was, "I always make it to the kitchen." So got to give a shout out to Eric.
We purposely put it at the end because we're going to put this to the test. I'm going to give him 3 days from when this goes up, and we'll see if he comments, and I'll pin it if I can clearly tell it's him. So we'll see if he always makes it to the kitchen, at least in a timely manner. So you get to the kitchen 3 months late. I don't know if it counts.
Okay. All right. Well, shout outs to Eric and honestly everybody else in Hawaii and the islands. Had a good time. And it's good to be back.
Yeah. Now, please just don't leave me like next week, because I feel like it's like you're back and then you leave.
Gone.
It's like an on-off thing. It's like our version of a toxic relationship.
You miss me. You miss me.
I do. It's so boring doing the podcast on my own. The last one wasn't bad, but I don't like it.
The last one was pretty good. I listened to it and I thought it was pretty good. What did were people upset that you did another solo?
No one said anything, actually. Like, okay, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, because I feel like they always say something. I feel like you would do a better solo pod than me doing a solo pod.
I'd probably agree with that, but together we make a much better pie.
This is true.
What kind of pie would our podcast be? Last thing.
A pie? A pizza pie?
Yeah, if we were like, no, like a pie.
A pie?
Like, let's see if we can agree on a pie here. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Pick one really quick, and then on 3, we're going to say it at the same time and see how close we are.
Okay, wait, hold up. There's so many pies
I've already got it.
You already got it?
Yeah. I actually don't know if this would be fair. I'm really just thinking what my favorite pie is, not what the thing would be. But
yo, that's exactly what I'm thinking about as well. So okay, go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and then say our thing.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pumpkin pie.
Key lime. See?
Oh shoot. Okay. But I could totally do key lime. That would be my second. Like, honestly, key lime could easily overtake pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go key lime because I really like guys. Key lime pie.
We key lime. Key lime in the house.
Let us know. If you like pie, let us know what kind of pie we would be. And this is how we'll know who the real kitchen goers are, because we went a little bit extra. You already know that as soon as we said we were signing off, after that story, people were gone. So we'll see who the real kitchen people are.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Yep. Later.